Hey everybody, this is Mr. McKee with Net 225. Today I'm going to be going over Packet Tracer 7.4.1, which is implement DHCP version 4. Now if you guys look at my workspace in Packet Tracer on the right side, this is almost identical. Actually it is identical, other than the PC is not being moved down here as the last Packet Tracer. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know. I'm going to work through it just the same to show you guys how to do it. It's good practice for me too, since I have to recertify my CCNA in November. So yeah, I think mine is November, the end of November. Okay, so let's look at the topology. We've got local area network, 3 of them. We have an edge router, R2. We have 2 other routers connected with serial connections. Let me see if I can mouse over these. Alright, so you can see those interfaces, those interfaces. And if you're using Packet Tracer, you can't get it to show up those interfaces on the workspace. You just have to click on the little desktop workspace, and then your mouse over will work. Alright, and that is starting to get super confusing. Alright, so that's that. Alright, so basically, just as last time, R2 is our edge router going out to an ISP. It's connected to the internet. Our ISP is going to assign us a DHCP IP address, which is right there. That's gigabit 1. If we can see it. Yep, gigabit 0 to 1. Alright. And so we have 2 serial connections, serial 000, serial 001, going down to that interface, It's kind of good the way they did it. They did 000 serial to 000 to make more sense, and same thing with the 001 to 001. Alright. So DNS server is over here on our other LAN, which is a 192.168.20.0 network. Over there, this is a 10.0 network and a 30.0 network. And this looks, this is exactly the same as the other, the previous Packet Tracer. Alright, so R2 has 4 interfaces. And I wish I could click on this, but it won't let me. Oh, you know what? It will let me. Wow. The last Packet Tracer, this was all locked. So you can click on the. Alright, so you see, I think that's gigabit 0. Can I zoom in? In real life, I hate to say it, but I've heard of instances where people have their CCNA and even CCNP and don't actually know how to hook up the connections. That's not really good. Alright, so this is a Cisco 1941 router. There's gigabit 01 right there, gigabit 00, console connection, aux port, USB stuff. This has one interface, HWIC interface for the serial connections. So you can see right here, serial, it's really hard to see, but serial, looks like serial 1 and serial 2. So 000 will be on top and 001 will be on the bottom. Alright, so that's the way that looks. Oh, I'm sorry, you know what? Yeah. In our case, this is router 1, so it's only using a gigabit serial 000 and a gigabit 00. So that it's using the top one right there, and it's using this one right here. Alright, but now router 2, it has a whole bunch of stuff. As you can see, it has, you can put 3 HWICs in this. I've never heard of that being done. Maybe an ISP has that many, but let me zoom in. Zoom in. Looks like it says serial 1 and serial 2. It's kind of hard to see, but there's your gigabit 00 and gigabit 01. So that's showing you gigabit 0, or gigabit 00 and 01 are up top. All right, and then your two serials are on the bottom. And here, just give me a second. I'll get up I'll show you what the HWICs actually look like off the Googles. Let me go on the Googles and find it. Cisco HWIC. HWIC 2. I don't really have to know exactly how it looks, but network outlet. Okay. Let me look at images. Let me look at. I wish it would be larger. All right, so here's what the HWIC looks like. Oh, actually, serial zeros on the bottom, so that would be 000 and then 001. All right. And they make these that actually we have two of them that I installed for our NetLab system that actually has 16 connections in a big I think they call it like an octal cable, but yeah, but these are standard 2 serial connections right there. All right, so that's what that looks like. All right, let me go back to this thing. All right, so technically the way they have it, they're giving you two both those serial connections could technically go off that same HWIC interface adapter, but they've got two in there. That's no big deal. All right, so 0 on bottom, 1 on top. All right, so that's one difference between this packet tracer and the last one. You weren't able to click on anything. I can click on all sorts of stuff in this one. All right, so as the network technician for your company, you're tasked with configuring a Cisco router as a DHCP server to provide dynamic allocation of addresses to clients on the network. You are also required to configure an edge router, which is router 2 in the center, as a DHCP client, so it receives an IP address from the ISP over here on the internet. All right, since the server is centralized, you will need to configure 2 LAN routers to relay DHCP traffic between the LANs and the router that is serving as the DHCP server. All right, so I just want to verify all this stuff's the same. All right, so configure a router as a DHCP server. Configure the excluded IP version 4 addresses. Configure R2, which is our center edge router, to exclude the first 10 addresses from R1 and R3 LANs. All other addresses should be available to the DHCP pool, DHCP pool address pool. If I can get that right. All right. So we know by looking on this, for R1, our network's going to be 192.168.10.0 with a 255.255.255.0 subnet mask. Because it's \24. All right. So we're going to exclude .1 through .10. Is that right? Yep. And everything on here looks the same as the last packet tracer. Configure. And one thing too, if you guys have an older version of packet tracer, I have 7.3.0. Some of these commands may not work. You know, not on this one, but I think we ran into an issue where like a level 3 or layer 3 switch wasn't working correctly. That may have been because you know, they're using an older version of packet tracer. IP DHCP exclude address. So now we're going to do 192.168.10.1 through 192.168.10.10. All right. That's our first one. And then we want to do R3. So R3 is 192.168.30.0 network. So if we do an up arrow for history, all we need to do is change out the third octet to a 30, and third octet to a 30 on that one. All right, we've just excluded our two 10 IP address range of addresses in both networks. All right. So create DHCP pool named R1 LAN. The pool name must match this value in order for you to get credit for your configuration. So case sensitive, you're going to name it R1 LAN. All right. So let's click. My mouse works. All right. So IP DHCP pool R1. Whoops. R1 LAN. Okay. And then we're going to do our network, which is 192.168.10.0. And just because we put in that that IP address doesn't mean it understands how large our network is. All right. So to specify that, we put in our subnet mask 255.0. Yes, I get emails all the time. All right, so we have that. All right, configure the DHCP pool to include the network address, default gateway, and the IP address of the DNS server. All right, so network address, we specified that. We need to do our default router. This is 192.168.10 up here. 10.1. Yeah. All right. We do got to do a DNS server, which is right here. 192.168.20.254. Where is that? 20.254. All right, so that looks good. Everything looks good on there. Configure the DHCP pool. Okay, we've done that. All right, create a DHCP pool on R2 for the R3 LAN. So we can really do our up arrow. Change out R1 LAN to 3. Do our network 30. Do our default router to a 30.1. Okay. Yep. Which is right, that interface right there. All right. Remember, DNS server's not going to change based on our network. It just knows DNS server's right here sitting inside this network. All right. So that looks good. All right. Configure the DHCP relay. All right, so it's our now our relay is not going to be on R2; it's going to be on R1 and R3. Let's click on CLI. Let's go here. Enable configure terminal. All right, so we're going to have to put in, and that's going to be interface. Is it a 0.0? helper address is going to be 10.1.1.2. What we're doing is S000 or an R2, go to this interface to look for our IP addresses. Alright, so there's that one. Alright, let's do R3. Click on CLI. Enable. Oh, and don't type it in incorrectly because it'll have to sit there and translate for a second. Let me pause this while it's finishing up. Alright, so finally it finished. Alright, so let's get back in. I've done that so many times. I'm so used to it. Alright, configure terminal. Alright, so our helper interface is going to be this one up here, S001. So interface. Zero. We'll off this interface. Whoops. Alright, go to this interface, but then you're actually going to go to that serial 001 interface to get your IP address, which is going to be this IP address. Alright. So interface 00. Alright. Helper address is going to be 10.2.2.2. Alright. So we did that. I know that's kind of, I guess that seems confusing, but everybody in this network, if there's more than one computer in a switch, they'd all go to this interface to look for their IP address, unless they're statically assigned as a server or a another router or SVI for a switch or whatever. But if not, they need that DHCP. They'll go to gigabit 00. They'll say, okay, I know all the IP addresses need to shoot over to serial 001, and that's where IP addresses are going to be provided. Alright, so that's that. Alright. So we're good at that. Let's see. So we've configured R1 and R3 as DHCP relay agents. Set PC1 and PC2 to receive IP address information from DHCP. That's pretty straightforward. Click on the PC, desktop, click on that. Should be 11. Because we've excluded .1 through .10, so .11 is our next IP address. It's going to be given out for DHCP pool. And then on PC2 should be 30.11. Alright, so 30.11. We're good there. Alright. So configure R2 as the DHCP client. Configure the gigabit Ethernet 01 interface on R2 to receive addressing from DHCP. Alright. So let's do that. We're on DHCP config. I'm going to exit all that. Alright, so interface 01. We're going to do IP address DHCP. Alright, so we're good now. Activate the interface. You know what I'd like to see? I want to make sure. I know it's not going to send any traffic through there. I want to see if I can ping it before I turn it on. Oh, no, it's not going to work. But let's try it anyways. Okay. Let's exit out of that. Let's go to command prompt. And I want to try to ping cisco.com. I don't know if it'll let me do it. Let me do that. Just give it a second. It should time out, especially since we have two red triangles. All right. So we know that's not working. Let's go back into R2. Let's do a no shutdown. All right. Gives us a couple log messages. Gigabit 01 changed to up. We see right now it is up. It's still converging. Now let's try to ping it again. All right. Still nothing. All right. Now if we fast forward it to let it fully converge, we get two green arrows or triangles. Whoops. Clicking on the wrong thing here. Now we should get one timeout. And then, okay, we're getting responses. So that's the actual IP address of cisco.com. I click on cisco.com. See, I can click on everything inside this packet tracer. All right, let's see, desktop IP address. It won't let me tile those, but 209.65.202.158. 202.158. So there's the IP address. And now from PC2, I'll just let's try to ping the public site.com. All right, 202.157. 202.157. All right. All right, and then we are done. 100% completion rate. We're good to go. What you need to do to submit this is save this .pka file, upload that, click check her results, see how it says, congratulations, Mr. McKee, you completed this activity, screenshot of that. If you didn't get 100%, screenshot of what you did get correct and not correct. Hope everybody gets it correct. But yeah, one of the things you need to make sure though, make sure you have the correct packet tracer version. All right, because that's not, I think that's an issue. All right. So if you go to help, about, well, if I can click it, yeah. All right. See, this is version 7.3.0.0838. All right. So if you don't see that, it's like a 7.2, might not work. It's better to upgrade to it. All right, and that's it. Thanks for watching.